the story of the first French kiss. Where did it really begin? Who shared it first? And how did a single act of affection become a symbol of passion, science, and culture across centuries? Welcome to the Historian Talks, the place where the past comes alive through the stories that shaped our world. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and surprisingly mysterious chapters in human history, the story of the first French kiss. Stay with us till the end to discover the secrets behind this timeless gesture. And if you enjoy exploring history as much as we love telling it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the Historian Talks, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's step back in time and uncover the first French kiss. Long before the idea of romance, long before love was captured in poems and paintings, humans shared a gesture so intimate, so universal, that it became one of the oldest expressions of connection, the kiss. But where did it begin? Was the first kiss a spark of emotion or something far more practical? Archaeologists and historians have searched deep into the past to answer that question, and what they found is both surprising and beautiful. The story of kissing goes back thousands of years, to a time when human civilization itself was just beginning. In ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, clay tablets written in cuneiform, some over 4,000 years old, describe couples pressing their lips together in affection. One such text, from around 2500 BCE, speaks of lovers kissing before marriage. It's not poetry, it's documentation. Proof that even in humanity's earliest societies, the kiss already had meaning. Meanwhile, far to the east, ancient Indian scriptures known as the Vedas also mention kissing. In the Mahabharata, a text dating back more than 2,000 years, lovers are described as setting mouth to mouth. This is one of the earliest literary references to what we now call a kiss. So the act itself, lips meeting lips, was not born in one place. It appeared naturally across cultures. Some scientists believe that kissing might have evolved from something entirely instinctive, a behavior called kiss feeding. In early human evolution, mothers would chew food and pass it to their infants directly from mouth to mouth. It was a way to nurture, to feed, and to comfort. Over time, that same close contact may have transformed from feeding to affection, from survival to emotion. When a mother pressed her lips to her child's face, it wasn't just nourishment, it was love. The transition from that moment to a romantic kiss may have been gradual, but powerful. It was perhaps humanity's first physical language of intimacy. By the time of ancient Egypt, kissing was already a part of art and life. Tomb paintings and hieroglyphs sometimes show figures touching faces closely, their lips nearly meeting. The Egyptians believed physical closeness connected souls, an idea that would echo across the centuries. But it was the Greeks and Romans who truly gave the kiss its cultural depth. In ancient Greece, kissing wasn't just romantic, it was also social and symbolic. Friends and family kissed as greetings, and philosophers even discussed the meaning of this gesture. Plato described love as a search for one's other half. To kiss, then, was to try to become whole again, to reconnect two separated souls. The Romans took that idea and expanded it. In Rome, kissing became almost a language in itself. There were three main types: the osculum, a friendly or respectful kiss, often on the cheek; the basium, a kiss of affection between family or close friends; and the suavium, the passionate kiss reserved for lovers. These distinctions show that even 2,000 years ago, people understood the kiss as more than just contact. It carried layers of emotion, status, and intention. Roman soldiers kissed their generals to show loyalty. Citizens kissed the statues of gods for blessings. Husbands kissed their wives to confirm faithfulness. The simple act of touching lips had become a ritual of meaning, woven into every level of society. As the Roman Empire expanded, so too did the custom of kissing. It spread across Europe, carried by soldiers, merchants, and travelers. Wherever the Romans went, their culture followed, and so did the kiss. But not every culture embraced it. In some parts of the ancient world, such as early East Asia or Africa, kissing was far less common or even unknown. Anthropologists have found that nearly 10% of traditional societies had no romantic kissing at all. Instead, affection was shown through touch, scent, or gesture. For example, in certain Pacific Island cultures, lovers would press their noses together and inhale deeply, a gesture sometimes called the breath of life. It was not a kiss as we know it, but it carried the same spirit, the sharing of closeness, breath, and presence. As centuries passed, the meaning of the kiss evolved alongside civilization. In medieval Europe, it became both sacred and symbolic. Knights kissed the hands of noblewomen, priests kissed altars and holy relics. Even treaties and contracts were sealed with a kiss. To kiss something was to honor it, to make a promise with both lips and heart. Yet, behind these rituals remained that primal human urge to express emotion through touch. Every generation rediscovered the kiss in its own way. And though we cannot point to the exact moment, the exact person who gave the first true romantic kiss, we can trace the path it took through time. One ancient text, a Sanskrit manuscript from around 1500 BCE, gives perhaps the earliest clue to a passionate kiss. It describes lovers joining mouths and drinking each other's soul. These poetic lines reveal that humans had already linked kissing with something spiritual, something almost sacred, the merging of two beings into one shared breath. The Greeks later adopted that same idea. In their myths, a kiss could awaken, bless, or curse. The goddess Aphrodite's kiss symbolized both desire and power. In Roman mythology, Cupid's kiss could bind hearts forever or break them apart. Through these stories, the kiss became not just an act of love, but a force of destiny. By the early Middle Ages, kissing had spread into everyday European customs. Men greeted each other with kisses on the cheek. Vassals kissed their lord's hand as a sign of loyalty. Religious ceremonies included kisses as blessings. It was everywhere. Yet, curiously, public kissing between lovers was rare. Romance remained private, hidden behind doors or expressed through letters and poetry. It wasn't until the age of chivalry that romantic kissing began to be celebrated openly again. Troubadours, medieval poets and musicians sang of forbidden love, of stolen kisses between knights and maidens. These songs reintroduced passion to the public imagination. To kiss was to defy, to love, to live. And so, as centuries turned, kissing evolved once more, from sacred to social, from social to sensual. By the Renaissance, artists like Botticelli and writers like Shakespeare gave the kiss new meaning. In Romeo and Juliet, a kiss becomes both the beginning and the end of love, a symbol of fate itself. From those stories, the kiss entered the modern world not as a simple gesture, but as a universal language, a way to say what words could not. Yet, behind all the poetry and symbolism, the scientific roots remained. Our ancestors had discovered, even if they didn't know why, that a kiss felt good, and for good reason. It activates the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine and oxytocin, the same chemicals linked to pleasure, bonding, and trust. But the ancients didn't need neuroscience to explain it. For them, it was simply human, a meeting of souls expressed through lips. As the chapter closes, we return to our question, who gave the very first kiss? History offers no single answer. There was no first pair of lips, no exact date, no ancient witness who wrote, "This is where it began." Instead, kissing seems to have emerged naturally, an instinct shared across human evolution, shaped by culture, language, and emotion. It began as a need and became a symbol, from feeding to feeling, from instinct to intimacy, from survival to love. And in that journey, across thousands of years and countless hearts, humanity discovered something extraordinary, that the simplest touch can hold the deepest meaning. For thousands of years, the kiss existed as a universal act, from Egypt to India, from Greece to Rome. But somewhere in time, one kind of kiss earned a special name. It became known as the French kiss, a title that would forever link passion to one country and one culture. But how did that happen? Why France? Why not Italy or Spain or Greece, lands also famous for romance? The answer lies not in biology, but in history, culture, and the world's fascination with what it means to be French. To understand this, we must first look back to Europe after the Middle Ages. During the 16th and 17th centuries, France was rising as a center of art, beauty, and refinement. The French court, especially under kings like Louis XIV, became the symbol of elegance and sophistication. French fashion, manners, and language set the standard for all of Europe. To be French was to be stylish, romantic, and cultured. The French people were known for their charm, their poetry, and their emotional openness. Their art and literature spoke freely of love, often more boldly than other societies of the time. While England and Northern Europe were becoming more reserved under religious influence, France celebrated sensuality as a part of human nature. The culture of romance was deeply woven into French identity. By the 18th and 19th centuries, France was already known internationally as the home of passion. The works of French writers like Rousseau, Balzac, and Flaubert described love not just as a feeling, but as a philosophy, a pursuit of beauty and connection. French art depicted lovers embracing, eyes meeting, lips touching, scenes that captured a raw and honest intimacy that many other cultures kept hidden. During this period, French society also developed a certain openness in how affection was shown publicly. Gentle kissing on the cheek, called la bise, became a common form of greeting. It was natural, graceful, and part of everyday life. Travelers from other countries noticed this, often describing France as a place where people were physically more expressive. This perception began shaping the world's imagination. To kiss like the French soon meant to kiss passionately, romantically, without restraint or awkwardness. It was not about nationality anymore, it was about attitude. The French became associated with emotional honesty, artistic beauty, and freedom in matters of love. Yet the term French kiss itself didn't exist yet. The act, kissing with the tongue, was, of course, ancient. It appeared in texts long before the word French was ever attached to it. The Sanskrit Kama Sutra, written over 1,500 years ago, describes deep kissing and the mingling of tongues as one of the highest forms of affection between lovers. Ancient art from India and Rome also hints at similar expressions of intimacy. So the act was not new. What was new was the name. The phrase French kiss first appeared in the English-speaking world in the early 20th century. According to linguistic records, it was used informally by British and American soldiers during World War I. When those men returned from Europe, especially from France, they brought home stories of French women whom they described as more open and passionate in their displays of affection. To them, a French kiss was something exciting, exotic, and daring, a gesture that symbolized the kind of romance they believed French culture embodied. The soldiers didn't invent the act, they just gave it a new label, one that stuck. By the 1920s, the phrase had entered English slang. Dictionaries began defining the French kiss as an open-mouthed kiss in which the tongues of the partners touch. To many English speakers, this seemed adventurous, even scandalous. But in France, there was no special term for it at all. The French simply called it un baiser amoureux, a lover's kiss, or un baiser profond, a deep kiss. The name French kiss was, ironically, something the rest of the world gave to France, not something France named for itself. In fact, for most of history, the French considered such intimate kissing a private matter, not a cultural symbol. But as the phrase spread globally, France became forever linked to the idea of romantic sophistication. To kiss the French way became a metaphor for elegance mixed with passion. There's another layer to this story. Language itself. The English term too French was sometimes used in the 19th century to describe things seen as sensually adventurous or foreign. So when people said French kiss, they were not just describing geography, they were describing a certain flavor of romance, a kind of love that felt bold and uninhibited. The name carried both admiration and curiosity. By mid-century, popular media helped turn this idea into legend. Early Hollywood films, though censored by strict moral codes, began hinting at longer, more emotional kisses. Magazines and novels used the phrase French kiss to describe a new kind of intimacy. By the 1950s and 60s, as the world became more open about love and relationships, the French kiss transformed from taboo to trend. Young couples in America and Britain began experimenting with it, inspired by French cinema, which was known for portraying love with honesty and artistic grace. Movies like An Affair to Remember and later The French Lieutenant's Woman helped romanticize the idea that love, real love, required both soul and passion, and nothing symbolized that better than the French kiss. But beneath the cultural fascination lies something deeper, a scientific reason why this kiss became so meaningful. When two people share a deep kiss, their tongues exchange not just saliva, but chemical information. Scientists call this chemosensory communication. Within seconds, the brain processes taste, scent, and hormonal signals that help partners subconsciously judge compatibility. This biological exchange is especially rich during a French kiss because the mouth contains millions of nerve endings, and saliva carries trace levels of hormones like testosterone. A long, open-mouthed kiss can subtly influence attraction, increasing arousal lowering stress, and even helping partners bond emotionally. In this sense, the so-called French kiss isn't just cultural, it's evolutionary. It amplifies the emotional connection that humans have sought since their earliest history. When soldiers gave it that name a century ago, they might not have understood the science behind it, but they instinctively recognized its power. Interestingly, in France itself, the term French kiss eventually came back into the language from English. Today, modern French people sometimes use the borrowed phrase le French kiss playfully, though it's not the traditional term. The French language tends to describe the act more simply, just s'embrasser, to kiss each other, or rouler un pelle, a casual slang meaning to make out. But the global popularity of the English phrase has made it familiar everywhere. This exchange of names between cultures shows how symbols evolve. What started as an affectionate act between humans became a national metaphor, then a universal icon of passion. The phrase French kiss tells us less about France itself and more about how the world has viewed France as a mirror of romance, beauty, and desire. By the 1960s and 70s, the term had fully entered everyday language. It was no longer whispered or scandalous. It was common, even celebrated. Songs, books, and films used it freely. The French kiss became a symbol of modern love, youthful, expressive, and emotionally deep. At the same time, researchers began studying the act scientifically. The emerging field of philematology, the science of kissing, explored its biological and psychological effects. Studies found that a passionate kiss could burn calories, lower cortisol, the stress hormone, and even improve immune function by exchanging beneficial bacteria. But perhaps the most fascinating discovery was emotional. People who shared deep, affectionate kisses reported stronger long-term satisfaction in their relationships. Scientists linked this to oxytocin, sometimes called the love hormone, which floods the brain during prolonged kissing. The French kiss, it turns out, is a natural chemical bridge, one that strengthens emotional bonds through touch and taste. All of this adds a layer of irony to the name. What was once considered exotic or foreign, even slightly shocking, is now understood as one of the most natural and healthy expressions of human connection. Still, the label persists, and with it, a certain charm. To French kiss is not just to kiss deeply, it's to participate in a cultural story centuries in the making. It carries with it all the history of romance, from the poetry of medieval troubadours to the passion of modern films. The name also reveals something universal about human behavior, our habit of associating emotion with place. We call things French, not only because they come from France, but because they evoke something we believe France represents: sophistication, beauty, and freedom of feeling. The French kiss became the perfect symbol of that idea. Even today, this association continues in subtle ways. Travel guides, movies, advertisements, and novels still use France as the backdrop for love stories. Paris is called the City of Love, and the Eiffel Tower has become almost synonymous with the image of two people sharing their first kiss. It's no coincidence that when people imagine romance, they imagine it through a French lens: candlelight, wine, art, and intimacy. And so, the French kiss is not just about two lips meeting. It's about what humanity sees in that moment. Passion without apology, emotion without fear. It's about the freedom to express love honestly, the way the French culture once inspired the world to do. By tracing this history, we learn that names often reveal more about belief than fact. The French did not invent the deep kiss, but through centuries of art, literature, and allure, they came to define what the world imagined romance should feel like. The phrase French kiss became shorthand for love in its purest, most human form. And that is how a simple act, shared by all people across time, came to carry one nation's name. The French kiss is not just a gesture, it's a story of perception, passion, and the endless human search to express what the heart feels, but words cannot say. For most of human history, kissing was seen as a symbol of love, affection, or culture. But behind that emotion lies something even more fascinating: the science of what actually happens when two people share a kiss. At first glance, it looks simple. Two pairs of lips meet, skin touches skin, breath mixes. But in that small moment, an entire chain of biological reactions unfolds. A silent communication between bodies that science is only beginning to understand. When lips meet, around 34 facial muscles come into action. The main one is called the orbicularis oris, the muscle that controls the movement of the mouth. It's responsible for shaping our lips when we speak, smile, or kiss. A gentle kiss may use only a few of these muscles, but a deep, passionate one, like the French kiss, involves many more, as the lips and tongue move in coordination. The tongue itself is one of the most sensitive muscles in the body. It contains thousands of nerve endings, and when it makes contact with another tongue, those nerves send a flood of information to the brain. Taste, temperature, movement, every sensation is instantly processed by the sensory centers of the brain, particularly the somatosensory cortex and the limbic system. These are the same areas that handle pleasure, emotion, and memory. That's why a kiss can feel not just physical, but deeply emotional. It activates the same brain regions that light up when people experience joy, affection, or even addiction. In fact, studies have shown that the chemicals released during kissing are similar to those triggered by certain addictive substances, but in a completely natural way. One of the key chemicals is dopamine, often called the pleasure molecule. Dopamine is released when we experience something enjoyable, like food, music, or love. During a kiss, dopamine surges through the brain, creating feelings of excitement and happiness. It's the reason people describe kissing as thrilling or euphoric. Another chemical released is oxytocin, known as the bonding hormone. Oxytocin helps people form emotional connections. It's the same hormone that strengthens the bond between a mother and her newborn child. During a deep kiss, oxytocin levels rise sharply, helping couples feel closer and more trusting. Then there's serotonin, which stabilizes mood and creates a sense of well-being, and endorphins, the body's natural painkillers, which produce a sense of calm and satisfaction after kissing. Together, these chemicals form a powerful emotional cocktail, one that strengthens relationships and creates lasting attachment. But kissing isn't just about pleasure or emotion, it also serves an important biological function. When two people kiss, they exchange saliva, and then with it, microscopic chemical information. Scientists estimate that a 10-second French kiss can transfer as many as 80 million bacteria. That might sound alarming, but it's actually a form of biological communication. Each person's saliva carries unique molecules that reflect their immune system's composition. When saliva is exchanged, the body can subconsciously sense compatibility. It's nature's way of letting two potential partners taste whether they are a good genetic match. In evolutionary terms, this might help humans select partners whose immune systems are different enough to produce stronger, healthier offspring. This process is sometimes called chemical sampling. It happens without our awareness, yet it influences attraction. People often describe a kiss as just feeling right. That feeling may, in part, come from this hidden exchange of biological data. Medical researchers have also found that kissing can strengthen the immune system. By introducing harmless foreign bacteria from another person, the body learns to adapt and defend itself more effectively. Regular kissing between long-term partners has even been linked to better resistance against common infections like colds. However, it's also true that kissing can transmit certain viruses, such as herpes simplex or mononucleosis, commonly known as the kissing disease. These infections are usually mild, but serve as a reminder that intimate contact always carries a degree of biological risk. Even so, for most healthy individuals, the benefits far outweigh the risks. Kissing helps reduce stress, lowers blood pressure, and promotes overall well-being. When two people kiss, their heart rate increases and blood vessels dilate, improving circulation and oxygen flow. Breathing deepens, pupils dilate, and the skin becomes more sensitive to touch. All signs that the body is fully engaged in the moment. Interestingly, scientists have observed that the longer and more frequent the kisses between couples, the stronger their emotional connection tends to be. In one study, couples who kissed frequently reported higher relationship satisfaction and lower levels of stress. In another, newlyweds who made kissing a daily habit showed measurable reductions in cholesterol levels and improvements in mood. From a medical standpoint, a kiss is like a small workout for the body. It burns about 2 to 6 calories per minute. Not much, but enough to engage multiple muscle groups and increase metabolism slightly. More importantly, it triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of the body that helps us relax and feel safe. This is why kissing can calm anxiety and create a sense of peace. Kissing also plays a crucial role in psychological bonding. Human beings are wired for touch. It's one of the first senses we develop as infants. A kiss combines touch, taste, smell, and even sound, creating a multi-sensory experience that the brain links with emotional safety. Over time, these repeated signals strengthen trust between partners. In evolutionary psychology, the kiss is seen as a kind of emotional handshake. Before language existed, our ancestors may have used touch and proximity to communicate affection and loyalty. A kiss could have served as reassurance, a way to confirm that someone was safe, caring, and connected. That instinct still remains today. Researchers have also noticed gender differences in how people perceive kissing. Studies suggest that women often place more importance on kissing before and after sex, viewing it as an emotional connection, while men may see it more as a prelude to intimacy. Yet both genders experience similar hormonal effects, which help maintain long-term attachment. Another intriguing finding is that our sense of direction while kissing might be biologically programmed. Around 2/3 of people naturally tilt their heads to the right when kissing. Scientists believe this habit may begin even before birth, as fetuses tend to turn their heads to the right while in the womb. It's a subtle example of how deeply ingrained this gesture is in human behavior. Beyond hormones and instincts, kissing also affects memory. The hippocampus, the part of the brain that handles emotional memory, becomes active during a kiss. This is why people often remember their first kiss vividly, even years later. It's not just a romantic moment, it's a powerful neurological event that marks a turning point in emotional experience. Medical science also highlights the role of smell in kissing. The nose, located so close to the mouth, picks up subtle pheromones, scent-based chemical signals that influence attraction. These pheromones can affect mood, desire, and perception, further deepening the bond between two people. So, when people talk about chemistry between lovers, they are not only speaking metaphorically, there is real chemistry happening. An exchange of molecules, hormones, and neural impulses that make the experience both pleasurable and meaningful. Even in the modern world, with all its technology and communication, kissing remains one of the most powerful forms of human connection. It doesn't require words, money, or status. It only requires closeness. Two people, face to face, sharing a moment of trust and vulnerability. In medical and psychological studies, this physical closeness has been linked to better mental health. People who engage in regular physical affection, including kissing, report lower rates of depression, anxiety, and loneliness. The act triggers a release of serotonin and oxytocin that helps stabilize emotions and reduce feelings of isolation. In hospitals, therapists have even studied how touch and affection can aid healing. Patients who receive gentle, caring contact tend to recover faster and feel less pain. While these studies don't involve kissing specifically, they highlight how powerful human connection can be on a biological level. Kissing, then, is more than an act of love. It is a complex biological system, a blend of evolution, chemistry, and emotion. It connects two nervous systems, two immune systems, two hearts. It teaches the brain to associate another person with safety, warmth, and belonging. From a scientific point of view, the French kiss, with its deeper contact and exchange of saliva, simply enhances all these effects. It magnifies the communication between two bodies, turning a gesture into a physiological conversation. That's why it feels more intense, more revealing, and often more memorable. Over the centuries, poets and artists have described kissing in emotional terms as a union of souls. Modern science, in its own language, describes the same thing, a merging of senses, hormones, and memories that tie people together in ways that words cannot. The chemistry of a kiss is invisible, but its effects are lasting. A single kiss can change mood, alter hormones, and create a memory strong enough to last a lifetime. It's both a biological act and a human story, the meeting point between the physical and the emotional. So, while history gave us the cultural meaning of the kiss, science reveals the truth beneath it, that in the simple touch of two lips lies an entire universe of biology, emotion, and evolution. The kiss may feel universal today, but its history tells a different story. Not every culture has always kissed, and not every society has viewed it the same way. Across the centuries, kissing has been celebrated as a sacred act, banned as sinful, and rediscovered as an art of human connection. Understanding how different civilizations saw the kiss helps us see how it became what it is today, a global symbol of love, affection, and emotion. In the ancient world, kissing had many meanings. It could be a sign of loyalty, respect, or devotion. In Babylon, people kissed statues of gods to ask for favor. In ancient Persia, people kissed each other as a greeting, but the way they did it depended on social rank. Equals kissed on the lips. A person of lower rank kissed the cheek or the feet of someone higher. In Rome, a similar system existed. Soldiers kissed their commanders, senators greeted each other with kisses, and lovers shared the passionate suavium. In these early societies, a kiss was more than affection. It was communication. It showed who you were, what you felt, and how you related to others. But as time moved forward, the meaning of the kiss began to change. In early Christianity, kissing took on a spiritual role. The Bible mentions the holy kiss, a gesture shared between believers as a sign of peace and brotherhood. For centuries, this practice continued within churches. Even today, in some Christian traditions, worshipers greet each other with a kiss on the cheek as a symbol of faith and unity. In medieval Europe, the kiss carried both sacred and social weight. It sealed contracts, ended disputes, and marked pledges of loyalty. Knights kissed their lords to show allegiance. In royal courts, a kiss on the hand showed respect to nobility. But in poetry and song, the kiss became something more, a symbol of desire and romantic longing. The medieval poets, known as troubadours, were among the first to romanticize the kiss in Western literature. Their verses told of secret meetings, forbidden love, and the sweetness of stolen kisses. These stories spread through Europe, inspiring centuries of art and literature. By the time of the Renaissance, kissing had become a central image of love itself. Painters like Titian and sculptors like Rodin captured it as the purest expression of passion and beauty. Yet, not all cultures embrace this intimacy. In some regions of Asia, Africa, and Oceania, traditional societies did not kiss at all, at least not in the Western sense. Anthropologists studying isolated tribes in the 19th and 20th centuries found that nearly 10% of human cultures had no form of romantic or sexual kissing. Instead, they showed affection through touch, scent, or gesture. Among the Inuit, for example, couples expressed closeness by rubbing their noses together and breathing in each other's scent, a practice sometimes called the Eskimo kiss, though it is more accurately described as kunik. In parts of Polynesia and Southeast Asia, lovers pressed their noses and foreheads together in a greeting known as honi. It symbolized the sharing of life's breath, much like a kiss does in other cultures. In these traditions, the act of touching faces or breathing each other's air carried the same emotional meaning as a kiss, the exchange of closeness, trust, and warmth. The difference was only in form, not in feeling. In contrast, in early Chinese history, public displays of affection were rare and often considered improper. Ancient texts focus more on ritual and respect than physical passion. The same was true in Japan, where touching or kissing in public was traditionally seen as too intimate for open display. Even today, though attitudes are changing, some older generations still prefer to keep such gestures private. In the Middle East, cultural and religious customs have also shaped the meaning of kissing. In many Islamic societies, kissing as a greeting is common. Men often kiss each other on the cheeks as a sign of friendship or respect. But romantic kissing in public is discouraged, seen as something to be shared only in private. The boundaries between affection and modesty are guided by deep cultural values. Across Africa, the picture is diverse. In some regions, kissing was historically unknown, replaced by other forms of intimacy. In others, like parts of North Africa, influenced by Arab and Mediterranean cultures, kissing became part of social life. In East Africa, early explorers noted that couples expressed affection through hand-holding or touching foreheads rather than kissing. These customs remind us that love does not need one universal language. Every society finds its own way to show it. When European explorers and colonizers traveled the world, they carried their customs with them, including the kiss. Over time, as global contact increased, the Western style of kissing spread to many cultures through movies, literature, and modern media. By the 20th century, the kiss, and especially the French kiss, had become a recognizable symbol of romance almost everywhere. Cinema played a major role in this transformation. The earliest film kiss, recorded in 1896 in Thomas Edison's short movie, The Kiss, shocked audiences for its realism. The scene lasted just a few seconds, but it was enough to stir controversy. Newspapers called it scandalous. Church groups protested, but for the public, it was mesmerizing. It showed love in a way they had never seen before, real, physical, and human. As the film industry grew, so did the image of the kiss. Hollywood turned it into an icon. In classic films like Gone with the Wind, Casablanca, and Roman Holiday, the kiss became the emotional climax, the moment when words ended and feelings spoke for themselves. The French kiss, in particular, came to represent the height of romantic connection. In the 1950s and 60s, as cultural attitudes relaxed, kissing became a common sight in movies, magazines, and advertisements. What had once been private now became public. Western influence helped spread this new openness across the world. Young people in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East began to see kissing not as taboo, but as modern and expressive. At the same time, some societies resisted this change, arguing that public affection was incompatible with their traditions. Even today, cultural debates continue about where and how affection should be displayed. In some countries, public kissing can still lead to social criticism or even legal punishment. But globally, the trend leans toward acceptance, a sign of how powerful the symbol of the kiss has become. Interestingly, as the kiss spread across cultures, its meanings multiplied. In some places, a kiss remains formal, a greeting or sign of respect. In others, it's purely romantic. In many European countries, people greet each other with multiple kisses on the cheeks, 1, 2, or even 3, depending on the region. In Latin America, similar customs exist. In Russia and Eastern Europe, men often greet each other with cheek kisses, showing friendship and trust. Each variation tells us something about the society's values. In cultures that value closeness and community, kissing is often part of everyday interaction. In cultures that value modesty and personal space, kissing tends to remain private, yet everywhere it carries the same message: connection. Even as cultures differ, the emotional core remains the same. A kiss communicates what words cannot: affection, care, longing, forgiveness, or peace. It crosses language barriers, social status, and time. Whether it's the gentle kiss of a parent on a child's forehead, the respectful kiss of greeting, or the passionate kiss between lovers, the meaning is always human. The history of the kiss across cultures shows how flexible and powerful this gesture is. It can be adapted, hidden, or celebrated, but it never disappears. It survives because it fulfills something essential in human nature: the need to connect, to share emotion through touch. In our globalized world, the kiss continues to evolve. In places where it was once rare, it is now seen as a normal expression of love. Social media, films, and international travel have made the French kiss, once exotic, a part of modern culture almost everywhere. Yet behind this global image, local traditions still survive. In Japan, a simple bow can express as much respect as a kiss. In India, couples often prefer subtle gestures of affection in public, though romantic kissing in private is common. In the Pacific Islands, nose-to-nose greetings remain a cherished symbol of unity. All these variations remind us that love and affection are not defined by one act, but by intention. The kiss is just one of many ways humans express closeness, a reflection of culture, belief, and emotion. So, as we look at the kiss across time and continents, we see both unity and diversity. The kiss connects us as a species, yet it also reflects who we are as cultures. It is an ancient gesture with endless meanings, a bridge between the body and the heart, between the personal and the universal. And through this bridge, humanity has learned something timeless: that affection, in any form, is what keeps us human. The French kiss has traveled a long road, from ancient rituals to modern romance, from taboo to symbol. In today's world, it has become one of the most recognizable gestures of love. Yet, beneath its surface, it carries deep psychological, social, and biological meanings that reveal much about who we are. In modern society, the kiss has evolved beyond an act of affection. It is now a cultural symbol, a language of emotion that appears in art, film, music, and media across the world. What was once private is now a public expression of connection. People kiss to greet, to celebrate, to comfort, and to fall in love. The simple act has grown into something far more complex, a way to express what words cannot. The 20th century marked a turning point. When motion pictures became global, they spread the image of the kiss faster than any previous form of culture. In black and white films, the kiss was a moment of emotional climax. It represented everything the audience felt, but could not say aloud. Over time, it became the emotional shorthand for passion and commitment. In post-war America, the kiss symbolized hope and reunion, one of the most iconic photographs ever taken. A sailor kissing a nurse in Times Square in 1945 captured the end of World War II and the return of peace. It was spontaneous, imperfect, and deeply human. That single image defined an era and proved that a kiss could speak louder than any speech. As television and advertising grew, so did the presence of the kiss in everyday life. Romantic scenes became common in movies and shows. Magazines and billboards began to use kissing couples to sell ideas of love and happiness. The kiss was no longer confined to literature or legend, it became part of modern identity. But along with visibility came change. As social norms shifted in the 1960s and 70s, public affection became more accepted in the West. The sexual revolution encouraged people to explore intimacy more openly. The French kiss, once considered daring or scandalous, turned into a normal part of dating culture. By the late 20th century, it had lost its shock value and gained emotional depth. Yet, even in this freedom, the kiss kept its mystery. Scientists began to study why humans kiss and what it reveals about attraction. The field of philematology, the science of kissing, discovered that a kiss is far more than a simple touch. It's a biochemical event. When two people share a deep kiss, their bodies release a mix of chemicals: dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin, the same substances linked with pleasure, bonding, and happiness. These chemicals strengthen emotional connection and reinforce attachment between partners. At the same time, the kiss stimulates nerve endings in the lips, one of the body's most sensitive areas. The brain interprets this stimulation as pleasure, heightening emotional and physical intimacy. Saliva exchange even plays a subtle biological role. It helps partners unconsciously assess each other's immune system compatibility through scent and taste. In this way, the French kiss is both emotional and instinctive. It's a bridge between the mind and the body, a coded message written in chemistry and feeling. From a psychological point of view, the kiss also serves as a form of trust. To kiss someone closely, we must let go of our defenses. It requires vulnerability, proximity, and acceptance. That's why the first kiss in any relationship often feels so powerful. It's a test of emotional openness. But while biology explains the chemistry, culture gives it meaning. Around the world, kissing reflects values, beliefs, and the way societies understand love. In the United States and much of Europe, kissing in public is common, a symbol of openness and equality. In some Asian and Middle Eastern cultures, it remains private, reserved for the home. Neither is right or wrong. They simply express different understandings of intimacy. In modern times, the French kiss has also been shaped by technology and media. Social media has turned it into a visual icon, often photographed or shared to express affection publicly. Movies and TV shows continue to use it as the emotional peak of love stories. Even in a digital age, where much of human interaction happens through screens, the kiss remains the symbol of real physical connection. Medical science has also changed the way we think about kissing. Studies show that kissing boosts immunity by exposing partners to small amounts of new bacteria, which helps the body adapt. It can lower stress, reduce blood pressure, and release endorphins, the body's natural mood lifters. But like any act of intimacy, it has its cautions. Kissing can transmit infections such as the common cold, mononucleosis, or oral herpes. Health experts remind us that while kissing has emotional and physical benefits, awareness and care are important. Science continues to explore these aspects, balancing romance with realism. Beyond biology and culture, the kiss holds deep emotional meaning. It has become a universal shorthand for love, apology, comfort, and connection. A kiss on the forehead can mean care, a kiss on the cheek can show friendship, a kiss on the lips expresses passion or devotion. The same act can mean different things depending on the moment and the bond between people. The first French kiss remains one of the most memorable milestones in human relationships. It marks the point where curiosity meets connection, where attraction turns into emotion. That's why people remember their first kiss so vividly. It's an experience that blends physical sensation with psychological imprint. For many, it symbolizes the beginning of emotional maturity. Modern psychology explains that the memory of a first kiss activates the brain's reward system, forming a lasting emotional association. Even decades later, people can recall where they were, how it felt, and what it meant. It's not just nostalgia, it's biology preserving emotional significance. In popular culture, the French kiss continues to evolve. In films, it has become more diverse and realistic, representing love in all its forms, across cultures, genders, and ages. the kiss has moved beyond stereotypes, becoming a symbol of equality and shared humanity. Artists and writers still use it to express what words can't. A single image of two people kissing can suggest tenderness, rebellion, peace, or forgiveness. It's a gesture that adapts to time, reflecting the emotions of each generation. In the end, the French kiss stands as both ancient and modern, a tradition that links us to our ancestors and reminds us of our humanity. It began as a mystery, evolved through history, and now lives as one of the most powerful expressions of love. Perhaps that's why it continues to fascinate us. A kiss may last only a moment, but its meaning endures. It carries the weight of centuries and the lightness of a heartbeat. It connects science and soul, instinct and emotion, the past and the present. The story of the first French kiss is really the story of us, of how humans learned to express love, how we turned a simple touch into the language of the heart. And as long as people seek connection, that language will never fade.